We're here with Team TCG Drop Some Weight.
Yeah.
With Dom, Hansel, and Steve. So you guys just got top 16 at the YCS Mexico City Team 3v3. You two played the same deck?
Yeah.
Right?
Card
All
for
right.
card.
Let's get into it then.
So we played a deck that is unplayable in like 10 hours.
Yes, literally less than that.
Two Rhinoheart. You just like don't want to clog on it, same as it's been for months. Limited, so you have to play 3.
You built your deck after the ban list, I assume.
Yes,
Yeah.
This card is actually really good and makes the mirror a lot more intricate than it was already so intricate like the months prior. This card adds like so many more layers. It makes like milling Solic on their turn, like when you guys are resolving Agitos, and then like your shuffler is trading with their shuffler, theirs trading with your tiers because you're going second. And then like you mill a Solic, and then all of a sudden you have this window to like try to blow them out. And also this is another way to introduce like they Magnum on your turn. You don't have to waste a shuffler. Maybe you can chain this, block the Magnum from coming off the board, and you're gonna have to summon this anyway to continue playing. That covers everything with it.
Is something also good to search off of kit when like it's maybe better to search than early sometimes?
Yes,
off kit?
It is, because like searching this off kit, like in very niche scenarios where, you know, especially when you're like trying to play through a board going second and you initially start with milling or whatever, or like you may start with like the fairies to mill 5 and you hit like these names, right? Or you lead with like Rhinoheart and you are sending one of these because Merly's the one you want to do last because of Sprint. You don't really have a choice. Like when you hit these, you have to activate them going second the majority of the time. And so the scenario that you just described where you would like get this instead of Merly is like if you do not really have access to being able to sprint once you summon them early, then you would get this so you can still mill 8, but you leave the third Merly in your deck so you have a higher chance of hitting it. Which is
and there's another thing, and because of this plus the Ishizu cards, it makes it so that you can stagger your mills, so that way like it forces different shufflers. I don't know if
Ooh, and also the thing that I really liked, and we talked about this before, was when before, sometimes your Rhinoheart would have nothing to send.
Oh, yeah.
Like when you would pitch a Solic or something, and you're just trying to, like, filter and, like, have extra bodies, especially when you're playing the mirror, you're trying to summon Dweller. And so, like, you summon Rhino, and, like, sometimes sending one of these, like, kind of pins you, because you don't want to take the name out of your deck.
Yeah.
But, you would, like, still need to put, like, a tier in the graveyard so you could try to summon Kit later. Now you can send this and mill 2 more cards. And this is a card you can bring back off kit to mill 8, which, because we didn't main deck Scream, our kit callus the majority of the time wanted to search Solic.
Yeah.
But yeah, that like covers the tier monsters, I think.
Yeah.
Then, Shocker, all these cards are also at 1, so we play 3. Some people play less than this. I really just don't know why. This card, like, these cards are all so broken. Like, you just... Oh my god, they're so gross. Like, you resolve this against anything other than the mirror, they literally roll their eyes at you, like, say something probably not nice that you couldn't understand.
Yes.
And then you move on.
Yep.
Yeah. And then 41st card. Because
I hate it.
We were worried about, like, a lot of shifter decks as well as Kashtira. And we recognize that, like, because we did not main deck, like, any non-engine cards for Kashtira, like, because we main decked Bestials, because they help us make Mudragon, our plan was, like, for Kashtira, which I never played against, did you?
No.
No? Awesome. Our plan was to have, like, 3 of this. We played 3 Solic, which, like, makes this make a little more sense. And we were trying to just play on their turn, like, when they give you the window of, like, Riseheart, Shangri-Era, and you just try to like blow them out there and like mill everything, like hit the millers, hit everything. This is why we wanted to play small deck, which we really wanted to play 40, we just couldn't.
Yeah, so you put a 41st card that you'll be able to resolve like 8% of the time. I understand.
last time.
Yeah.
It was the last time this card will ever be in a deck I played.
Yeah.
But, like, the theory was, it played along with the theory that because we maxed on millers, like, we could try to beat them with engine by like maybe pitching a miller, and then against Sprite, if you pitch like literally any of these 12,
that's game.
The game is literally over.
Yeah.
You like blew up one of their cards, and like these interact with Elf, and these end the game.
Yes.
So it was fine. I drew it twice, was able to activate it once.
Yes.
And I think Hansel drew it never.
I never drew it.
So, oh well. Then 3 Bestial Pizza Hut, 3 Bestial Avery Drake, because he is bald.
I see. I didn't get it, but
Yes. I have to explain it. He needs to know he's bald.
Yeah.
So, Mud Dragon is the most broken card in the extra deck, other than the 2 that just got banned. Like being able to summon Mud Dragon on your opponent's turn 0 makes it so hard for them to clear any of your bodies. And because you have access to like Dweller Zeus, like Babushka, and we even played Exciton Knight, if you're like level 4s, or like any of your board for that matter, is like living to your turn, and your opponent's like passing with like 3 monsters on your field, that it lets you win so much easier than if you did not have those monsters.
Yeah, Fenrir can't target your guy.
Yes.
You can do some stupid like call wind, then they can't cost your Theosis. That works sometimes probably. Like there are just some really niche interactions.
Like in the mirror you call dark, they're like Kit can't pop itself.
Yeah.
That one matters a lot. It's just good.
It's like imperm for like if you're trying to play around imperm.
Yeah, you summon it before Kit sometimes in your better hands. Like when you resolve a Miller on their turn, or like this happens a lot when you play the mirror and you're able to like sneak a fusion through, especially because like where'd she go? The girl. She will allow you to like fusion summon on your opponent's turn like once usually.
Yeah.
So if you are able to like stick the Mud Dragon and you're able to like summon a Guido out of your hand, then you can like protect your shuffler. Like with it on the board, because like a Guido will summon a shuffler and you have Mud Dragon, and like you call Earth, they cannot touch this card anymore. They have no way to force it, and you will just like hit them for maximum value every single time, and then the game will end. This card was really good for me, Baldrake. Then we only played 5 spells, 3 planet, and then 4 planet, and then I don't know why that card's still legal.
Yeah, that is a pretty egregious one.
Yeah, so these don't need explaining at all. And then we played 3 Sulk. So the card that is missing in our decks that you'll see in most is we did not main deck Scream, because we felt like going second in the mirror, milling that card, which is like where you were milling the most going second, did not matter. Like the Sulk it adds to your hand is super fake. So we wanted to keep our deck thinner and just like max on Sulk, because when you max on Sulk, you're gonna hit Sulk more often than if you did not, obviously. And then this allows you to get to the Kashtira Girl and like play your deck where you're just trying to like resolve as much engine on their turn as possible. And Scream going second gets like literally no value against Tyr, and it is abysmal versus Kashtira because you will activate it into Macrocosmos and lose the game.
Or into Birth and lose all the rest of your cards.
Or into Birth and lose your whatever graveyard you may have had.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but I'll go to the side deck now, because we definitely did side it because it was very, very good going first. Because it also, like, when you have Scream in your deck, it makes it easier to get to Crime. Because we're just, like, milling infinite.
Yeah.
Hanse's favorite card, I'll let him talk about it.
Oh boy.
Nibiru.
Nibiru, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Just people play into it.
I feel like since Rukalos got printed, I feel like people are just like Nibiru. Nibiru got banned when Rukalos got printed is how most people operate.
Well, the thing is that I feel like there's moments where it actually could hinder them because Rukalos. So essentially, like this card paired with any hand trap, like all your in-engine hand traps could kind of force the Rukalos. Like and the worst one being Kelbeck, because at that point they already used all their names. So if I use Kelbeck target Rukalos, I'm forcing it there. If they negate it, I get to mill 5. You used all your names. So now you're stuck in a weird position, and now the nib is gonna win me the game. Like it's gonna bring me back the game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, after you search your traps and like think you're like ahead. I feel like this card is kind of underrated. Like these are all the hand traps I could pair with. So it's like nib has been great paired with the hand trap. Since it's been printed, I feel like
Nib plus Imperm has been an FTK circa
like
2019. Yeah,
all these hand traps, you're bound to see Nib with one.
We also didn't think Ibli would be that popular this week.
Yeah.
And like this card obviously gets much worse when Iblis in every single person's deck.
Yeah.
But we figured that most Kashtira players we would play would either Arise Heart, nothing else, which the rest of our side deck and like main deck strategy was like built to try to deal with. And so this was like the catch-all where like if they go further, they just get super punished. You play against Tier. Like Hansel talked about all the hand traps, but also like because of this Kashtira girl now and like the 3 Solics, like if they ever use a Miller and we even hit this, then like we are able to get this and like pair it with Nib.
Yeah.
So like you don't even have to naturally draw a hand trap with Nib all the time, and you are just trying to like that's the other thing. Because of this, people are going to summon Dweller earlier in their turn a lot more often than they were before. And if you are able to nib them so that Dweller's not on the field on your own turn, then you're just super far ahead.
And then also Nib is good against rogue decks, which I felt like I would play against more here.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to like you said, to catch all that. Like it's good. It's not the best against Kashtira. I know that it's not the best, but I wanted to just be safe.
Mm-hmm. Then we played 3 Lancia. This was just for like Flandres and Kashtira. Lancia was like the best one for us because paired with all of the like Havnis and Tearlaments Kashtira cards, obviously you could. So something that was very cool that I think you could do that never happened for me is I think if you have a tier card in your hand, you can activate this and then chain Lancia and nothing gets banished.
That's correct, yeah. Just as long as you have a tier card in your hand so the activation is legal, you can do that, yeah.
So which means like now like this with this becomes like they are flooded out, they cannot Fender, Unicorn, anything. So you don't have to wait for this like super niche window that sometimes they may not always have to like try to play all your mills down. You can do it super early and then try to like flood them out. Like you can make Rukalos before they even have Theosis up. You can make Mud Dragon before they have Theosis up, and then you get to call Wind like you stated earlier, and then they can no longer Theosis unless they already have a natural extender, which then it literally has to be the level 4 because they will not be able to try to summon these in a different window after this is already resolved, I think.
Yeah, you can't. If Lancia is already resolved, then you cannot attempt to activate it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this card is really good. Also, like for our side deck pattern going first, we had this in our deck against Flandres and Kashtira as well, and like it stopping evenly matched was something that we both really.
I wouldn't know. I've never won a game when I evenly matched my opponent. So.
Yes. Like whenever we get evenly into, it would be like keep something and then it just gets like booked or like
Yeah.
it was just abysmal. Like how evenly was terrible for you, where you're like, oh, they evenly you and then they keep the card that beats you. They just would also have a card that beat the card that beats you.
I would know about that.
Yes, and then we literally have nothing. We end up poor and have nothing to our names. And then we played 2 additional Bestials for the mirrors, just like how the side pattern lined up. And again, like in the mirror, Mud Dragon is so important to summon on their turn. These are just like 2 more cards that do it and are good to draw. And played this one.
Level 2 monster, yeah.
Yeah, level 2 monster for a Sprite Elf that is now banned. I was trying to summon it as often as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And then 3 Book of Eclipse because there is a deck that literally has an Engine Macrocosmos. I'm not trying to see it face up.
Yeah. Yes. Fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing else to it.
Yeah, I mean, this deck is unplayable now. Or if you're going to play it, is much watered down in comparison to this. Luckily, if you're trying to make space for non-engine cards, Konami cut, I think, like 15 cards.
They gave you so much room for activities.
You can now do whatever you would like.
Yeah, literally whatever.
Oh, I didn't do the extra.
Oh, well, these are all banned, so.
Yes,
it's simple.
this is banned.
That's banned.
It is banished by Unicorn.
Yeah. That happened a lot too, yeah.
Garura, Rukalos, which by proxy is banned unless you have King of the Swamp. Kaleido Heart. This card is just so broken. Kaleido Heart's so insane. Dragospelia, the MVP of the entire deck. Obviously, is Mud Dragon. The card is insane. This card is also banned. Just say Diablosis hit this one. Sprind. And then we played both these Charmers. So like we played one Kikalos because we are not cowards. To play the second, or to play Ausa or Beatrice were like the flex spots we were thinking of. I think we definitely made the right one. I never wanted to summon Beatrice at all. Did you ever take anything cool with Ausa? I took a Fenrir twice. And I thought that was a myth.
No, I didn't take anything cool with Asa. Actually, there's a lot of cards I didn't make.
I took a Keldo also. I summoned this card like 4 times.
Yeah.
You just never summoned it?
Nah. That's one of the cards I didn't summon. I mean, there was no point where I could have. But yeah, that's.
Yeah. Dweller. Like outside of the fusions, this was my most summoned card. I played against like 5 tier in Swiss. Baguska, I summoned this one time. It was because I was Dimension Shifted.
That's kind of the only time you made that card, yeah.
Yeah, it's like sometimes you make like the really cool boards, but I felt like Nib was just in like everybody's decks because they were afraid of the new deck, and you like make Rukolos to play around Nib, and then you like put this on your field, and all of a sudden you can get Nibbed again.
Yeah.
So like you could make cool.
That is a fun interaction, turning off your own Rukolos and getting Nibiru. That's a fun one.
So
a non-bow, as some might call it.
Yes. But yeah, so this card was just I never had to summon it in like attack mode to make a Zeus going second. Although like where this comes up going second is when we play against like the Kashtira decks and stuff, and we have like Mud Dragon and like from their turn, and it's like our only monster up, and we have one of the fairies.
Yeah, you call Earth before summoning.
Exactly, yeah. You call Earth before you summon the fairy, then you normal the fairy, then you summon Maguska in attack mode, and like none of your cards can be targeted till Zeus hits the board. And so that's like neat, but only summon it once. You have to play it though. Well, not anymore.
Yeah, now you don't play most of these cards.
Zeus, summon it a few times, you have to play it. I did not summon either of these cards. I don't know if you did.
I summoned. So
what's the second one? Exoton Knight and who?
Wallow.
And Wallow. Okay.
I summoned Wallow a bunch of times. There's a lot of cards I didn't summon, oddly enough. But like in the past, I have summoned them. But like, Asa is one of them. Draco Stapelia is one of them. I made Mud Dragon almost every game. Like Mud was like my go-to.
It's really funny. You know, I didn't summon this card once.
That's crazy. I kept summoning that one.
That is actually crazy.
That's actually like I literally. Like, anytime I could summon this card, I would have lost the game if I did. Like, it's like, I would have summoned this card into a Ball Drake.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I guess I will not summon it.
Makes sense.
Yeah, didn't summon this because neither of us played against Kashtira. That's, like, pretty much exactly what Tier 4 is, to have, like, more diverse, blow up their stuff. And because our deck was built to summon Mud Dragon on their turn, we found it very likely that we could call the attribute if we summoned Mud Dragon of whatever the normal summon in our hand was, summon it, and then slam Exoton if they chose to banish Zeus. Otherwise, like, make Baguska instead. Yeah, and then Wallow card is just, like, super broken. We, like, have Bestials, and Garura is a 6 and draws a card for no reason. So, like, Wallow is really good, and I've summoned it a lot in the past. I just didn't summon it this tournament. Just didn't work out. But, yeah, that was...
Anything you would change now that you have...
Not ours, like
Now that the cards are banned in, what time is it?
Yeah, Orange Light's gotta
They're
go.
banned in an hour and 20 minutes in this part of the world.
Okay, so I would cut 1 Orange Light. I cut 2 Kelda.
Yeah, okay.
I cut 2 Hofness.
no.
Then cut 2 Keldo because you're cutting the other ones. It only makes
Of course,
sense.
yeah.
Which, by proxy, Mudora.
Yeah, Medora's the worst one anyway, so
also needs
we'll
to
get that
go.
one out of here.
And then... Like, you don't might as well. You played at 1, like, if you're playing all the other ones at 1. Same with Sheeran. So...
Yeah, just a tech...
Merle, I forgot about that.
Just a tech Tearlament engine.
Just give me a tech Tearlament engine. So, with all of that, it gives you a space of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14. You have 15 spots to play whatever real deck you like. With the Tearlament
with the
engine
light Tearlament engine.
with
Yeah.
a little splash. Damn,
Yeah.
After we cut that, like outside of these Kashtira girls, we now literally have 5 Tearlament monsters in our main deck. That is outrageous. Oh my goodness.
Well, now you can get 3 ultimate rare Rhino Hearts.
Oh yeah.
And finish your deck.
They should be
LTS,
$2 by the time we're
Yeah.
done. I'm not sure how many pesos, but
All right. Any closing thoughts?
this deck is broken. It has served.
It got banned already.
And it is
So,
gone.
yep. Very good.
Ooh, make sure you cut these.
Yeah, I don't want to get in any trouble.
But yeah, that's all. Thank you.